Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy New Year. This is Taylor Robinson, founder of Dump Daily. Just want to do a little tips and tricks and basic settings for rolling shots because I get asked a lot how I do my rollers and whatnot. So I figured it'd be easier just to do a video for you guys, and instead of typing it out over and over again, trying to explain what I do, I just drop a link. So basically, as an intro, I'll go over what you can do. Um, so, I mean, there's no set rule on rolling shots, really. I mean, I shot this at 1/8. Some people say, like, you want to go half your speed, like, half the speed you're driving at is what you want your shutter to be. So if you're doing 60 miles an hour, you want to shoot 1/30th. I don't believe in those rules. That limits you. If you can shoot a 1 second exposure doing a rolling shot, which I have a friend that's done, then do it. Don't limit yourself to some stupid rules. Um, my safe place for rolling shots is around 1/20th. Most of my shots that you see here are 1/20th. It gives you a real good amount of motion while still like making it so it's not 100 shots before you get one good one. There's a good ratio of keepers to not keepers, I guess you would say. So I'll go over some basic settings. The idea is to keep your shutter as low as you're comfortable with. Obviously, don't go out there and start shooting 1 second exposures expecting to get good pictures because they're all just going to be a mess. I mean, do it by all means. It'd be sick if you can get one, but you want to start like 1/25th is a good start. You'd be surprised what you can come up with. So yeah, keep your shutter low. My safe place, like I said, is 1/20th, but it's completely up to you where you want to start, and then you just push yourself more and more every time you shoot them. Go a little lower and a little lower until you're shooting 1/8, or here's a 1/8 shot. I'm not too proud of it. It's not real sharp or anything, but it just shows you can do it. Another 1/8 shot. So it can be done. So you want to keep your shutter speed low. 1/20th is good. You want your ISO to be as low as your camera can let you go. Like, I think some of the entry level cameras, it's like 250, ISO 250, but I shoot on the 5D Mark III. I can go down to ISO 50, so real low. But yeah, as low as your camera will let you go, that's where you want to be. And I mean, if it's nighttime, you might have to turn it up a bit. This one I shot at ISO 2000, the 1/30th exposure. But because the background was so far, it really didn't make sense to try and do a crazy exposure because you're not really going to get motion back there anyway. I was shooting out of a right-hand drive car, and this is looking over the oncoming traffic and is far away. So, yep. Once you keep your ISO low, the aperture really depends on how much sun that particular day, like how sunny it is. So there's really no guideline to that. But I mean, I shoot with a CPL. You might need a CPL or an ND, like a neutral density filter. It's highly recommended for rolling shots because when it gets real sunny, you don't want to have your f-stop at like f20 or whatever. You don't want it that high. So yeah, get yourself a nice CPL or ND filter, and it'll really help for your rollers. You want to have your camera on a continuous shooting mode. You don't want to be taking one picture, one picture, one picture. You want it to just keep shooting while you hold the button down, because you're not going to get every shot good, especially when you're keeping your exposure that long. Like, I mean, 1/20th isn't that long, but I mean, stick your head out of a car and try and shoot 1/20th. It's going to take a couple shots before you get a good one. So yeah, you want to be on a continuous shooting mode. I'll show you real quick like how many shots I really do take. Here's a before and after of that one shot. But like as you can see in my Lightroom, there's a ton of shots of this particular time when we were shooting here. There's a couple that I could have used, I guess, but like it wasn't the perfect shot. Don't settle for less than perfect. I mean, not perfect because no one's perfect, but I mean like don't settle for it just because it's a little bit sharp. Keep going and look for the perfectly sharp one. Like you can see here, it's tack sharp. Like you can read the license plate. You can almost read the license plate, but you can see it's sharp. Everything's sharp all throughout, front, back, everything. And I tend to shoot. I love to shoot into the sun through trees because it has a really nice flaring effect. This was just a quick edit I did. I'll probably include a video of how I got here. This wasn't the actual edit. I think that one was over here somewhere. Yeah. So yeah, shooting through trees is awesome if you could shoot into the sun because it doesn't blow everything out, but you still get that nice sun flare effect that you can then go into like Photoshop and make it look nice. That epic sun flare that everyone loves. Big thing with sun flares is really try and hold off on just plopping them anywhere in a photo because it looks really bad. None of the shadows line up and it just throws everything off and it looks so unnatural. My tip would be only enhance the sun flare that's already in your photo, because then all the shadows line up and everything and it looks good. So you want to be driving, I guess, a safe speed. My safe zone is like 40 to 50 miles an hour. It gives you a good amount of motion, but I mean the faster the better because what's it called? You get more motion when you go faster. But I mean you can go slower and just do a longer exposure, but it's whatever you're comfortable with, really. So 40 to 50 miles an hour is a safe spot. Again, 40-50 miles an hour shooting at 1/20th is great. If you can do, like, this was shot at 1/30th and probably doing about 60-70 miles an hour, cruising down to H2O. I actually love this shot. So you can see there's a good amount of motion, but the car is tack sharp. So whatever speed you're really comfortable with is where you want to be. You got to make sure that the driver of the camera car that you're in is setting the speed, and you just have the subject car that you're shooting match the speed, because for a roller to be sharp and proper, both cars have to be going the same exact speed, and everything will be good. You can actually see me hanging out of the window here of my buddy's BMW. I like this shot. So another tip would be, if you use a lens hood, take it off for the rollers because it just gets caught up and thrown around in the wind. It'll be a lot harder to get a steady shot with it. So I know some people that have done it, and then I tell them to take it off, and it's like night and day difference on how many more they can shoot without like getting blurry ones, with getting just good ones. This one I actually have a video that I'll include. Chris Petruccio, that was shooting the H2O video from Ocean City, is in this car, and he was recording me. Big thanks to him, because it makes this video a lot easier to visualize what I do. So yeah, I'll show you after this. This wasn't going too fast, but I mean it worked. Probably going maybe 30 miles an hour shooting it. I think I shot at 1/25th or something. Yeah, 1/25th. Other than that, when you're shooting in a continuous mode, I tend to shoot in bursts instead of just holding it down, because then your card has to buffer and it kind of slows the whole thing down. You want to be able to shoot like, I don't know, 5 to 10 shots really quick, and then you kind of give it a second and then shoot a couple more. So yeah, I'll show you what I was doing in this video here. You see me take a few shots and check the exposure, make the changes, and then I go down low. A lot of people ask me what I do. Do I open the door, or like shoot out of the window or the trunk, or how I shoot this low? Basically, just hang out the window. It's the easiest way for me that I found. Um, like you saw in the reflection somewhere, this picture. I'm just hanging out of the window. So, really quick video here on how I do my rolling shots. It's just a really quick video by Chris when we were at H2O. It's actually in the H2O video that Chris did. So here it is. You see me stick out of the car. I take a few shots. I get my exposure right. You can see me right here. I stick out. Just take like 1 or 2 shots real quick. Check the exposure. Make some setting changes if I can, if I have to, and then I get real low and really just blind shoot. He goes in the car because he wanted to get out of the way, but I'll play it again. You can see that I'm pretty much just shooting blind, really, just holding the button down. And after enough practice, you get it. It's pretty easy. I was shooting with the Canon 24mm, the 24 1.4L. Real sharp lens, great lens. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just hang out the window and hold the button down, spray and pray, really. Hope the video kind of helps. It gives you a perspective on what I do. So yeah. Another thing people ask me all the time is like, what lens is the best lens for rolling shots? And that's really an open question. There really is no best lens. Obviously you need a wide angle. Right now my current rolling shot setup, I used a 5D Mark III with the Canon 24mm 1.4L. But I started doing rollers with my 7D and the Tokina 11 to 16mm 2.8, which is a great lens for the price. It's good for rollers. It's not the sharpest, but it's good. It's good for the price, and great for crop sensors. The 16 to 35 is alright for full frame. There's a million different lenses. Really, there's no perfect lens. I like primes, so that's why I have a prime lens. They're sharper, and I don't know, I like them a lot better. So yeah, I mean, if you're just starting out, the Tokina 11 to 16 is great, or anything wide, really. Anything, if you're on a crop sensor like a T3i or a 7D or 60D or whatever. I don't know Nikon camera bodies too well, but if you're on a crop body, anything like between, say, 11mm and 24mm or so, that's where you want to be. It gives you enough like wideness to get a lot in the frame while not being too far away from the subject car. I like to keep about 1 lane in between me and the subject car. If I can get 2, then I do 2. Like, I like to give room to crop and straighten out and everything. I mean, I've shot some where I'm 1 lane, like right on the person, but I don't know, I try not to do that too much because it just gets a little too tight, and the composition just, it doesn't, it looks more like a rolling snapshot than like a rolling shot, a proper photograph. So yeah, any wide angle lens really. It's just, if you have the budget, then go for a good one like the 16 to 35 or whatever it is, or like I have the 24L. Insanely sharp, it's ridiculous. So I mean, there's no set rules. It's just a couple basic settings that you want to get down. Keep your shutter speed low, under 1/30th. Keep your ISO as low as your camera will let you go. The aperture will depend completely on the amount of sun that day. Use a CPL or a neutral density filter. It'll help a ton. Shoot and bursts on your continuous mode. That helps a lot. I've found over the past season, just shooting in bursts, it's so much better for getting good shots, because then you just do a couple photos and it produces more keepers. Drive at an adequate speed, like 40, 50 miles an hour is good. Depends on the street that you're on, obviously. If you're on the highway, you can be doing 60, 70, but if you're on a side street, you can only be doing 30, 35, and it's still going a little bit quick for a side street. But I mean, go as fast as you can and you're comfortable with in that area. Keep your lens hood off if you have one. And I mean, that's pretty much the basics, really. It's not too complicated. Once you get it, it's like riding a bike. It's easy. Once you understand what the settings do and everything, I mean, it becomes cake. I probably include some post-processing videos maybe after this video or along the line, because a lot of people ask me how I get my photos from, say, here to here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this helps you guys out. Share it to people that do automotive photography, because it's nice to see everyone improve. If you have any more questions, you can always message me on Facebook or Instagram, really wherever. I'll do my best to respond. I like to help everyone out if I can. But yeah, never stop pushing yourself. I mean, if you can shoot 1/20th, that means you can shoot 1/13th. And if you can shoot 1/13th, then go down to 1/8. There's no limits, really. Like I said, I've seen someone shoot over a 1-second exposure, and it was tack sharp. It looked like a rig shot. It was crazy. So, yeah, just keep trying new stuff, and one day you'll be shooting better rollers than me. You gotta watch out. So yeah, hope this helps. Happy New Year to you guys, and keep on shooting.